Hello and greetings from Milan this time. I suppose one of the main appeals of chess players' life is the globe-trotting lifestyle that you get to live. You travel all over the world, play many tournaments, meet new people. It's exciting, ever-changing, and yeah, pretty good. But honestly, this time when I came to Milan, I didn't even exit my hotel room. And the reason is that, okay, Milan is like my second home city. The first time I came here was in 1995, and I was practically living here in the 90s, playing a lot of tournaments in Italy. So I know the city pretty well. No point being a tourist once again when there is a lot of work to do. For today's theme, I chose the Carlsbad structure, arising mostly from the Queen's Gambit declined, which is an integral part of my black repertoire based on the Queen's Gambit declined. For the details, I would refer you to my blog www.alexcolovic.com, where you can see the details of this repertoire I wrote for the Chessable website. Now, Carlsbad structure is actually a part of chess culture. It doesn't really matter whether you play it or not. You should simply know how to treat these positions. And today we'll look at the possible reactions and the defenses against White's minority attack in the Carlsbad structure. There are 5 of them. 5 possible reactions to the minority attack, which usually starts after b5. Now, 2 of them can be played if black were to move in this position. So let's take them one by one. Knight b6 is probably one of the best reactions to the minority attack. And the idea here is that if white continues by b5, black takes with the c pawn and then pushes a5. And now we see the wonderful position of the knight on b6. It blocks the b pawn, provides secure cover to the pawn on d5, controls c4, and also supports the advance of the a pawn. This is, like I said, one of the best reactions to the b5 pawn push, and it should be considered whenever possible. The second reaction black can make before white pushes b5 is to play b5 himself. This is rather double-edged because apart from weakening the c5 square, it also weakens the a6 pawn. So after a5, black must really make sure that he manages to plug the hole on the on c4 and plug the c file, and second, that white doesn't manage to push e4 under convenient conditions. So this is a bit double-edged, but it is a possible reaction. Bear in mind that here I'm showing the reactions in their purest form. Obviously there are other pieces, mostly there are other pieces on the board, and these reactions always depend on the concrete situation. Now, if black has allowed white to play b5, then he has 3 reactions in this situation. 2 of them include taking on b5. This is normally useful for black because it opens the a file for the rook. And now there are 2 options for black. One is to allow white to take on c6, for example, play something like king f8, bc6, bc6, and now aim to push c5. If black manages to push c5, then normally he will be okay in spite of having an isolated queen's pawn, because of the limited material on the board. If on the contrary he does not manage to push c5, then he will be in trouble. So choosing this reaction will largely depend on whether black can push c5 or not. The second possibility is pushing c5 without allowing white to take on c6. Again, generally this should be okay for black, because the position with this isolated pawn arising after taking on c5 is normally defensible without too many problems, because black usually has enough activity here. And the third reaction is probably the least well known. He's playing a5 in this position, allowing white to take on c6, and now we get this position. A good game to see in this structure is the 11th game of the match between Korchnoi and Spassky from 1977, the candidates final of that World Championship cycle, where Spassky won a very good game in this structure. If this arises on the board, black usually tries to make use of the b4 square, which white cannot control by a pawn. We see that the corresponding b5 square is defended by the c6 pawn. Obviously, this is the most double-edged reaction, because it leaves a lot of material on the queen side, and if white, for example, manages to establish control over the queen side, then black will have problems because of the existence of these two a pawns. So this is it for now. These were the 5 reactions and defenses against the minority attack. Hope you find them useful. Cheers for now. Till the next time.